fallacy. Render hate to cure the wrath as we find new ways, we define duality. Desperate to relate, rewrite me. Fire finds me. Doubt burns without defense. Wired blindly.
Hello everyone, today we're going to be installing the pistons in the motor. Obviously, just for checking purposes, I already installed cylinder 1 and we are ready to move forward with the other ones. These are Gen 4 pistons going in a Gen 3 block. These are OE. This is a king bearing, what I'm using here. This is the part number. And I'm also using Manley rings. Part number is also right here. Right there. This is my ring gap clearance. So my clearance is for my, I don't know if you can see it or not, but top ring is 0.018, secondary ring is 0.022, and the bottom is 0.056, which I have all checked already. So moving on to cylinder 2, that's going to be on this side of the block, which I will turn as I go. So these are very easy to install. I'm just trying to get them separated because they're a little sticky and I have gloves on because I don't feel like getting full oil today. So very simple. These pistons have a front and rear on them. If you look on here, there is a dot right towards the front there. Right there, that's the front, so that goes towards the front of the motor. So it's cylinder 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So very simple. For the bottom ring, pretty much essentially just kind of can just fan it in there. So starting like that, just kind of spin it around. That one's in there. Middle's next. Same thing. Kind of fan it in there. If it wants to go, maybe. There we go. Wouldn't be work if it was easy, right? So be easier just to put the middle ring in first, then do this. Sure is. Would you look at that? So okay. The top ring. So there is 3 piston rings. They are all specific as to where they go and how you clock them. So it's here, here, So it's here for the bottom, then it's a little bit forward for the middle, and a little bit forward for the top of the 3 that go inside of here. So there's that. Turning this light off might actually help a little, so you can see. So then there's a secondary ring, and these have a beveled edge on them, and those are the top. So essentially same thing. It's in there. And then the top ring, this one has a physical dot on it, which is the top, right here, towards the edge of the ring. Pretty simple. So now they're all in. I'm going to hit them with a little oil and spin them around. I already greased the cylinder walls. So we're just gonna make sure this has a good amount on it, work it all in ahead of time, and make life easier. Definitely don't want any stuck rings. That would be the absolute worst. Okay, so my orientation's pretty close. I might spin these back actually just a little bit. Okay. So if you can see on here, it's here, here, here. So again, front of the motor, the dot is facing. Now I waited to put the bearing in to show you how that goes in. But bottom of the piston, just a little bit of oil, just ever so slightly. Now these have a notch inside of it, and a notch on the ring, so essentially you just put it in there, slide it in. That's in there. A little bit more oil going across it. Not that the crank isn't already oiled, but it can never help to have a good not dry startup. So front of the piston in. Gonna bite me a little. Just make sure we're good on the crank portion, which I gotta come up a little. slide this whole thing out so we're not quite seated. She slid on me a little. Let's try it again. Circle forward. That's the uncooperative filming. What happens when you buy cheap Amazon tools? The ring tool is not quite lined up. It kind of wants to fight you. She's in there now. Third time's a charm. Orientation is good. And she's in. Okay. So now I'm going to put the next bearing on the cap, and I'm only doing these hand tight. Just hand tight. Nothing special. Nothing too crazy. So a little bit of oil, a little bit. I've always bought long blocks, put everything together, so this is my first short block build. So we'll see how it goes, but so far so good, no issues. And if I tend to blow it up, well, then it's a learning experience. Now I'll grab the camera so you can see the inside of what I'm talking about here. Actually, I'll just spin the whole thing around. So cylinder 1 and 2 connect in here together. They're on the same piece here. So you actually see one little dry spot on these two where I didn't get some oil because they were down further before I spun it. So get a little love on those. There we go. 2 fingers. Only way. Okay, so orientation this way, and just gonna set it in there ever so gently. It's in there perfectly. Lays in nicely. Rod bolts are ERP. It's an 11 mil. In case you're wondering, I'm not even getting these completely snug. Just tightening them down. each side till it's almost tight. And we'll hit this side. Okay, back to this side. Cranks. Even across. That way you're not doing anything too crazy. Okay, now we're tight, so we'll crank here. We'll crank here. Back to this side. Just enough to get it seated, but not enough to do anything crazy with it. So there it is. 2 pistons connected. Bearings look like they're in there perfectly. Roll down in there real nice, so it's nice and oiled. That'll help prevent a dry start later. So, not that I'm not going to prime this beforehand, because I most certainly am, but so you repeat this process through all the cylinders all the way down, and that's essentially all you need to do. I'll check back in a little bit. Alright, so I figured I'd just do one more update. Pistons are in. Cylinder 1 is in top dead center, so I can set the timing here next in the next video. But as you can see, all the pistons are in, torque down to 15 foot-pounds, and then a 75-degree additional turn afterwards. That's pretty much that. These were used pistons and rods out of a Gen 4, which is why they're numbered individually, and the caps are obviously numbered just for torquing order. So in case you're wondering, that's why. But we're pretty much ready to go to installing the timing key next, which I have to heat up here to get on, and then I can install the additional timing chain, which is going to be a double roller, and that's about that. And then we can put on the oil pump and finish putting this bad boy together, and then move on to the head. So that's pretty much that. Thanks. So I just wanted to do a little video as far as the timing set goes. My double roller gear has retarded, advanced, and 0. So when I put mine on with the keyway here, I set mine at 0. My double roller timing is at 0. And now I'm ready to put my timing, my oil pump pulley gear on. Because I'm using double roller, there is spacers that come with this kit for the milling pump that I'm putting on, so which I will show you next. These are the spacers I'm talking about. Obviously they space out on the oil pump here. This is the front, this is the rear. Pickup tube, make sure to grease this a little bit beforehand. Now, what I do know is that the timing cover, because of the oil pump and all of this, might contact at one of these spots here. So when I go to put the cover on, I'll have to figure that out later, but that's for the next video. I wanted to make one more video in relation to this part. Now, if you look in here, I have the spacers installed on the oil pump. Well, when you do that, this little part on the timing cover here has to get ground down for the timing cover to actually fit on here properly. So that's one last little bit, but everything's installed. We're timed, pumps on, pickup tubes on, and I can't get the cover on until I get this cover ground down, which is next.